In my frequently asked questions videos on Beast Mastery, I briefly covered what the foundational expertise point expenditure looks like for Beast Mastery combat builds. Let's expand that topic and discuss the 3 main builds for Beast Mastery combat, what their appeal is, and then end the video with full Beast Mastery builds for every combat profession in Star Wars Galaxies. First is the 1-point build, which will allow the character to summon the pet, and that's it as far as combat is concerned. The pet can attack or learn special abilities. This is where the build receives its nickname, the Dead Pet build, as most 1-point Beastmasters don't bother reviving their pet since it can't defend itself. Having the pet summoned also results in the Beastmaster receiving the Divided Attention debuff, which reduces the Beastmaster's damage output by 25%. This debuff is removed once the pet is stored back in the owner's datapad. So you might be wondering, what is the upside to dragging around a dead animal? When you examine a summoned pet, you'll see a list of statistics including some bonuses this pet is receiving. Up to 30% of the pet's hit chance, dodge, parry, block chance, critical hit chance, evasion chance, and strike through chance bonuses can be inherited by the owner while the pet is summoned. These bonuses apply to the owner regardless if the pet is alive or incapacitated. In this example, you can see that the pet's owner is receiving around 3% for most inherited bonuses, while hit chance being the outlier at approximately 1%. The value of these bonuses and the amount the owner inherits is primarily determined by the quality of the pet's incubation, so you will want to hatch a 60-point pet to get the most out of this feature. To learn how to identify a well-incubated pet, watch my aforementioned Beast Mastery FAQ video. These bonus values also receive small increases depending on the pet's stat bonus group. Since the Beastmaster is primarily benefiting from the pet's defensive bonuses in a 1-point build, pets belonging to the Avoidance bonus group are the most popular choice for this build since they provide the greatest increase to inheritable defensive bonuses. Let's go over the 2 most common professions to use the Dead Pet strategy. First are Jedi, whose already high defensive values can be pushed even further, making them seem nearly invincible in some situations. If the Jedi really doesn't want to die, or believes they can simply win through outlasting their opponent, then bringing out the pet can be worth the damage reduction. Second are Medics, as their first job is to not die. If they're dead, then they can't heal or revive allies, so the damage cut is worth the trade-off, especially in larger player versus player scenarios where Medics are a priority target for the enemy. While these 2 professions use the Dead Pet build the most often, any profession can benefit from lugging around the corpse of an animal should they ever need the sudden boost to their defenses to get out of a sticky situation. Just remember that pets can't be stored during combat, so if you take your dead pet out during a fight, then you'll be stuck with the Divided Attention debuff until you exit combat, or put roughly 200 meters between you and the pet, which is when it will be stored automatically. Let's move on to a build that elevates the pet's role beyond just being a stat trading plushie. The 9-point build refers to investing at least 9 expertise points in Beast Mastery in order to train the Harmonious Understanding skill, which removes the 25% damage reduction penalty normally incurred while having a pet summoned. These builds aren't always 9 points, but are still shy of being considered a full build, so for this video let's refer to this type of build by what you're gaining the most by taking this path: utility. A utility build aims to enhance an aspect of the Beastmaster's core profession by leveraging the unique special abilities pets can have. Most often this is through the pet-specific debuffs of Shaken, Flank, and Enfeeble, which increases the damage a target receives, the target's chance of being critically hit, or reduces the target's damage output respectively. Utility builds can also cover gaps in a profession's toolkit by bringing in combat effects they otherwise wouldn't have access to in their profession. These include a stun, action penalties, root, and snare effects. Unlike a dead pet build, you will need to level your pet to 90 in order to effectively make use of a utility build. Pets in this build can attack, which will bring some additional damage to a fight, but lacking a complete investment in Beast Mastery expertise means the pet's inherent survivability is low, even with access to the Beast Heal and Soothing Comfort abilities. This is why the pet special ability slots are allocated to debuffing abilities, as damage-only specials like Bite and Claw aren't giving the best possible return in a utility build. To give you an idea why utility builds are appealing to some Beastmasters, let's look at 2 example builds together. Officers focused on player versus environment content may want to consider sparing 9 points from their core build to get a pet. Not only will having access to a debuff, like Shaken, be great for group content, but the inspiration proccing effect of the General's Aspect jewelry set can be triggered by the highest rank of Beast Heal and Soothing Comfort. This means you have 2 more abilities that can trigger action regeneration for the group, making you the ultimate action battery. Spies can spend 10 expertise points in Beast Mastery and still have enough points to get all of the spy-specific abilities groups love them for. If they want to try a utility build in PvP, then spies might consider experimenting with an equine or camel that learns the kick ability to enhance their ambush. Yes, pets will cloak with the spy, so you can jump scare unsuspecting players. Full Beastmaster builds are when a player has at least trained the exceptional nutrition, dexterity training, and savagery skills in the expertise tree. This takes a minimum of 19 expertise points, but most full builds invest closer to 21, opting to pick up all of the additional combat command skills, or 24 points to get the fortitude skill. With this level of point investment, the Beastmaster is making their pet a primary feature of their build. The pet is doing as much damage as it can, it won't instantly fall under focus fire, and the pet has multiple special abilities to use. These pets are a consistent source of damage, being able to chase down their targets and stay on them, in addition to increasing the Beastmaster's survival odds by distracting enemies in combat. The drawback of this build is that, at this level of expertise point investment, Beastmasters are losing out on training abilities and skills that would bolster their individual damage or survivability. This varies in severity between professions, with some losing more than others, but everyone is trading something when using a full build. Let's go over some examples of full Beastmaster builds for every profession in the game. Builds will be presented in the order of most to least recommended for a full Beastmastery build. Consider these builds my personal recommendations rather than standards for the professions, as my practical experience varies across professions. Starting with the most popular Beastmaster option, Medic is an easy candidate for a full build as they only need to invest 24 expertise points in the Medic specialization tree in order to heal all player versus environment content currently on SWG Legends. This leaves them with exactly enough points to unlock all of the special abilities for their pets. Medics looking to regain some of the stronger, profession-specific debuffs may want to consider trying Utility Beastmaster build instead. Bounty Hunters are a popular option for Beastmasters as a pet's consistent damage and unique abilities complement a hunter's toolkit. The build I'm showing here is more defense-oriented and for hunters looking to rely more on felines, bats, or reptilian pets. If you decide you want to use a camo for its kick ability, then you may want to move some points around, as Sniper Shot in the Bounty specialization tree is great on-demand damage. Commandos may consider trading some of their damage output for a pet that will help control, debuff groups, or bring more immediate damage to targets. Canines offer a consistent snare, Nox bring more area of effect damage, and Saurians can bring high burst damage from special abilities. Expertise points can be moved out of Improved Stand Fast, and the pet's a Fortitude skill to unlock Focus Beam if the commando misses having a heavy weapon special ability. Spy Beastmasters are effective due to the pet also benefiting from the Advanced Strikes and Assassin's Mark debuffs being placed on a target. Unfortunately, the Spy buffs Savagery and Resonance are too much of a point stretch to also unlock in a full build. Spies looking to make the most out of a Camel's Kick ability will want to move points around to unlock Cloaked Attacks and other instant damage-oriented abilities. Officers can expect to lose some damage and self-preservation skills when using a full build. As mentioned earlier, the Beast Heal and Soothing Comfort pet abilities can be used to trigger inspiration while wearing the General's Aspect set, so missing the Called Shot and Overcharge abilities isn't a concern for action regeneration. The longer cooldown and superior firepower and no emergency shield ability does make this less appealing for PvP. No self-cleansing abilities means you're also losing out on some of your jewelry set's features, but hopefully your pet will prevent you from receiving damage over time and negative effects entirely. Hopefully. The last three professions I'm going to cover are the ones people recommend the least for Beastmastery. These are the least recommended because these professions heavily depend on their expertise trees to fill their role on the battlefield, making any investment in Beastmastery more expensive by comparison. For example, Commandos passively get the ability to use heavy weapons without expending action with every shot, which helps them fill the consistent AoE damage dealer role. In contrast, Smugglers have important controlling effects and debuffs spread throughout both expertise trees, meaning they have to spend more expertise points to fill the single target controller role they occupy in the metagame. Despite this point tax on the profession, Smugglers still make for good Beastmasters. From my experience, I can say it is worth a trade if you're looking for more survivability in solo player versus environment activities. I used this build for the Smugglers solo Hollow Arena on Bespin and passed a score of 200,000 much more easily than I did without a pet. I used a Reptilian with the Enfeeble ability on boss waves and a Knock with Health Leech and Wind Buffet for the remaining waves. However, I'd recommend an Insect and Flying Insect over a Reptilian and Knock for PvE due to the different special ability sets. For more general PvE play, you may want to try a melee build. While you lose some of your controlling effects and unique debuffs, your damage output will still be respectable, and having access to pet special abilities is never a bad thing. You'll also find yourself more durable in most fights thanks to the stats you're inheriting from the pet and its ability to distract at least one enemy for you. Jedi is arguably in the worst position to use a full build, as they're either missing out on improved saber block, an additional 35% bonus to parry for the ability's duration, or something great in the path tree. This light side build intends the Jedi tank encounters while the pet provides support. Avian pets can use Wind Buffet to boost the enemy's chance of glancing the Jedi, while rats can maintain Enfeeble to cut a single target's damage entirely. Darkside Jedi could take the opposite approach by having a pet learn Provoke and take targets for them. The issue here is that pets aren't great at maintaining hate on multiple targets simultaneously, so the Jedi may struggle in multi-target encounters. I recommend Darkside Jedis interested in Beast Mastery first experiment with a utility build before committing to a full build. They might find an unconventional tanking build viable by the end. The only reason Jedi is arguably the worst candidate, and not the worst, for a full build is because combat entertainers gain all of their abilities from the drama expertise tree. This means a combat entertainer will be missing half of their entire combat profession by going full Beastmaster, whereas other professions at least have some expertise and their profession wheel to fall back on. For player versus environment content, entertainers will want to use the excellent Choreographer's Jewelry set from Bespin for the action cost reduction, take the damage dealing abilities from the tree, and train the self-heal just in case your pet can't save you from something. I have no practical experience with combat entertaining here, so I'm just guessing. For all I know, dumping the heal and taking more action cost reduction might be the better play. Heck, you can even toss points into your pet's evasion skill after you unlock Spiral Kick and improve footwork if you want. Where a full Beastmaster combat entertainer enters meme territory is by using the pet ability Kick. When the effective kick falls off the target, a buff is placed on it, preventing the target from being stunned by Pistol Whip or Kick for 20 seconds. This buff does not prevent the target from being stunned by unhealthy fixation. This means that a combat entertainer can immediately follow up Kick's 2-second duration with a 5-second long unhealthy fixation for 7 seconds of stun on a single target. However, if you don't eliminate the target in that 7-second window, you're probably going to die. This build is only useful in PvP for duels or small engagements. As soon as the fight becomes moderately sized, both you and your pet will crumble under area of effect attacks. Your action pool won't last beyond your callback ability wearing off, so this setup isn't useful in PvE either. Beastmasters come in a variety of configurations, all purpose-built to help specialize the player in one way or another. While these builds, mostly, don't work as a direct upgrade from a profession's unique expertise, they do succeed in adding options to the game to help the player diversify their playstyles. If you end up trying any of these builds I shared, or have any build suggestions of your own, tell me down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching everyone, and stay hungry.